Hi, my name is Kenya Harris, and today I want to talk to you about SAMR and Bloom's taxonomy and how I use my practices in comparison with theirs. So earlier in the week, I used cellular phones as my visual. However, since I'm a business teacher, these models in SAMR and Bloom's taxonomy are pretty second nature to me, but right now, please note that I'm not teaching. So in SAMR, if I use a computer, the first practice of substitution is simply using the computer to type something instead of writing it by hand. So of course I use substitution in my classes all the time. We really don't even have books. Now the second one, augmentation, I absolutely use that in the form of Office 365. We use OneNote, especially Teams for collaboration, and also Forms for understanding and evaluation. For modification, no, not that type of modification. Okay, as I was saying, in modification, my students would look online, go on websites, search engines, do their research. That's pretty simple, and I think most students do that and most teachers implement that in their classes. Now let's look at redefinition. This is when the students are creating something, and I've only done that once in my multimedia and web page design class. Of course, the students had created their own web page at the end of it, but in other classes, I've never done that. Knowing more about the SAMR model now, I definitely think that I could use it in other classes more than just the computer science classes. For example, I teach principles of business, I taught principles of business and personal finance and entrepreneurship. Now, if I could use those steps in the SAMR model, the students could definitely create something very cool, and I think they would be really proud of themselves. Let's say in an entrepreneurship class, they would be really proud of themselves. Not only that, they could put it in their resume.
What about Bloom's taxonomy?
Yes, Bloom's taxonomy. I could think of so many interesting apps that I could use with the iPad, iPhone, Android, even some platforms on the computer. Right now, I'm using iMovie to make this video, so we could just have so much fun in class doing those things. Reviewing and understanding are two very natural parts of most teachers' classrooms. It's definitely a part of mine. It's whenever we start to think about applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating that things start to get a little foggy. Now with computer classes and business classes, that's a little bit easier. But what would you do for someone's math class? I know it's not fair. I can do those things in my business classes. We can make podcasts and videos, and that may not be as easy in other classes. But those things will actually help you to teach someone or help them in understanding, which actually brings us full circle all the way back down to understanding. If I could change the way I did business in the classroom regarding what we learned today with Bloom's taxonomy and SAMR, I think that I would make goals for myself. I'd find apps and platforms online that I could use and that I think would be beneficial to the students. So if any of them came with a price tag, that would be the challenge. I'd probably write a memo or some sort of justification to the department head, the principal, whoever was in charge of the funds at the school, and try to justify why that would be helpful for the students. In fact, in 2018, I was a business teacher and I had no smartboard. Out of the whole entire school, I was the only one that did not have a smartboard. And I thought to myself, shouldn't I have a smartboard? I don't have any books. I have no textbooks, nothing for my students. What am I gonna do? So I did my research, I wrote a grant, and I got funding for that smartboard. What's the takeaway? My students learned, after I got the smart board, that they can do anything they want if they just put their minds to it. So thank you for watching this video. I hope that no matter what subject anyone teaches, math, English, science, social studies, maybe health, any of the extracurricular activities, I think that there's a way to incorporate technology into the classroom. You just have to figure out, would it benefit the students? The answer is yes.